Okay, so let's kick off. So thank you everyone for joining. Very excited to bring you this webinar today. Obviously, if you've not been able to join us, you will get the recording, and hopefully we can show you what we're now very excited about is working with the John and Chris here from CYANFix, partnership with printIQ. It's a very new partnership, so we're going to show you some of the stuff today. Not so much me, I might add, but very much John will be in the hot seat, and then we'll be asking questions afterwards. So this is all about automation. Pre-press, luckily enough, I've grown up in pre-press, so this is key for me, and it's going to be key for companies moving forward as two softwares come together, trying to relieve those manual touch points and double entry of data. So let's see who we're actually on the call with today. If speaking, obviously, is myself, Rob Thurston. I'm the UK sales manager here at printIQ. I've been with the business now for 3 years, seen it grow quite heavily, not only in the UK, but globally. John, do you just want to introduce yourself, John and Chris?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name's John Pestel. I'm one of the founders of CYANFix. I've been working in pre-press automation for many years now, and with IQ in one way or another since they were first founded, I think back in 2009. So I've been on the customer side, I've been on the employee side, and I've been on the contractor side. So I know printIQ very well.
Brilliant. And Chris?
Yeah, I'm your background automation guy. I've been working on Switch for quite a long time. I did start in the print industry on the shop floor, but I've been doing the automation for quite a long time now. And so that's it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you both. So just before we get into the demo, we'll just give you an overview of both companies realistically and where we're going and where we've come from. So in case you don't know who printIQ and CYANFix are, printIQ, we're a global company. We're now based across 5 countries, the UK being one of those, North America, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. Business has been running now for 25 years, over 60 plus members of staff. And we've got over 300 clients worldwide. So users within that database will be hundreds and hundreds. So we're growing at a very nice rate. We are totally cloud-based here at IQ. So wherever you are in the globe, as long as you've got a web browser, you can access IQ. 70% roughly of our staff are development, R&D, build leads, rather than the sales or the production side. We don't do any outsourcing. Everything is kept in-house. So we have multiple meetings here at IQ to understand what customers need, and we take your feedback on to create new features that are added to the releases. Now we do 1 major release per year, sometimes 2, depending on what the requirements are, and multiple minor releases. And we continue to expand our portfolio. So we're growing in wide format packaging, slowly growing into labels and signage as well. And probably one of the only MISs out there that can cross many different parts of print. Guys, do you want to update us on CYANFix?
Yeah, sure. CYANFix, obviously, it's a relatively new company. We're still very young, but the business is actually based on years of experience from Chris and myself delivering automated workflow solutions to printIQ customers around the globe. Now, one of the biggest hurdles when delivering automation solutions was cost and infrastructure. The software is very expensive, and also the infrastructure to host it internally yourself can amount to significant investment. What we've done is we've taken all this away and bundled it up into a SaaS solution, so it's a fully managed service. So now, it is in the cloud, so there are limitations. Yeah, it's not going to do everything that an on-premise solution can do, but it gets very close. But there is also a very clear upgrade path for our solutions, so that if you do outgrow us, yeah, everything that we've built for you is fully transferable to an on-premise solution.
Brilliant. Thanks, John. Do you want me to stop sharing now and you take over?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, so John's going to take over now. He will do the demo of the integration between the 2 softwares. By all means, keep the questions coming in. We have had some questions come in from obviously a couple of people that couldn't make it, who want some questions answered. But yeah, by all means, keep the questions coming.
Okay, Rob, can you see my screen?
I can.
Yeah, okay. Now, I'm going to try and make this as clear as possible. I'm going to be jumping in between printIQ, some folders, some emails, and also Acrobat as well. I'm going to try and make this demonstration as clear as possible. Just bear with me. So now I'm making some assumptions here that the current audience are printIQ customers. Now, if that's not the case, please reach out to Rob after the webinar, and we can certainly take you through the ordering and quoting experience within IQ. But I've got a pre-built quote here ready to go with 7 products on it. Yeah. So now I've got a business card with a proof, yeah, that I'm going to upload some artwork that's going to be flagged for low res. Then I've got the same product again with the correct artwork, and I've got a Z-fold brochure. Now, with a Z-fold brochure, obviously the customers can supply it in 2 ways. They could supply it as, it's a DL, I should mention, a DL Z-fold. They can supply it as a 2-page A4 landscape or a 6-page DL. We've got a 16-page self-cover booklet that we're just going to pick out the spot colors and flag those. We've got a pull-up banner here where we're going to add some extra space to the bottom of the artwork once it's passed pre-flight and processed to allow for where the material goes into the banner base. And we've got a teardrop flag that we're going to actually apply a template to and remove some ink and output some cut files for this one as well. Now, this is by no means the limitations of our solution. I'm just trying to demonstrate here the kind of things that we can do to start with, but we're doing lots of different things for lots of different customers. But I'll continue on with this and accept the quote. Now, I've already attached the artwork to the quote, so I can just drag the files down to speed up the process a bit. And I'm confirming. Now, what's happening in the background is the artwork has been uploaded into Azure with printIQ. Now, the jobs have now landed on the All Jobs board at pre-press ready. We can see these 2 here have an icon to indicate that a proof is required. Now, what we're doing in the background is we are going to Azure and downloading that artwork and then transferring it over to our environment. And what you'll see here is the folders will start to be created in our environment for the artwork to be stored in. Now, whilst that's happening, I'm just going to show you the artwork that I've uploaded. So here's my business card with the low-res image. There's the high-res version of it. And we've got the 2-page, yeah. And we've got the 6-page DL as well. We've got a 16-page booklet, the pull-up banner that's, you'll see here that there's no white space at the bottom for the banner base. And we've got a teardrop flag that's just basically a full square flooded with ink that we're actually going to apply a template to and then remove all the excess ink outside of the template. Now I'm just going to close off Acrobat. And we can see here now we're starting to get email confirmations from printIQ. We've got some pre-flight successes. We've got another one there that's got action required. Now, these emails can be directed to your customer. They can be directed internally to your pre-press department, the account managers. This we are just leveraging here off of standard printIQ functionality. So if I just open up this, you'll see here, there's my business card with the low-res image. You can pass this information on to the customer to allow them to make the decision whether to accept the warnings and continue or to replace the artwork. So whilst we were looking at that, we've noticed that actually we've had another email for a proof. Now, if I just flick back to printIQ and then just refresh this screen again, You'll see here now, we've already got 5 jobs that have actually passed pre-flight, and they're now print ready. They've gone right through the pre-press department, and they're actually on the print device ready for printing. We've got the high-res business card. Now, because we uploaded the artwork with the correct resolution, it's passed pre-flight and gone straight through to proof. So if I open up this job, we can see here we're putting production integration notes into the job so that you can see all the feedback from our solution. Now, if I go back into the one that's warmed, we can see here we're populating into the note the same message that we get in the email. You can also access a full pre-flight report by going to the pre-production details. Here we've got that same message again, but if I click on the link, I get access to a full pit stop server generated report. Now this obviously will show you in-depth details of the pre-flight results. Now, as I previously mentioned, as a customer, I can choose to replace that artwork, or I can choose to accept and continue. I can also, as an internal user, if you're directing this communication to your pre-press staff, or if they're just using the printIQ application, they can do so from the pre-production details. They can just come into here and update to pre-flight passed, which is the same as accepting those warnings. I'm going to go back to the job details. I'm going to refresh the screen. Yeah. So we can see now the pre-flight has been marked as passed. The pre-flight operation has been completed, and this job will go off to proof very soon. Now, from here, I can see that this one's awaiting approval. So if I go into my email, again, this would have been directed at the customer. I'm just going to copy the link. I'm going to go into incognito mode, so I'm not logged into printIQ, so I'm emulating the customer clicking on the link. You'll notice I haven't got any toolbars or menus there. All I can do is approve the proof. I'm going to click on to review the proof. It's going to download high-res copy of the proof, and then I can choose to reject or approve. On proof approval, I'm going to close that off. I'm going to go back to my all jobs board. We can see now this one's passed off. That's approved. It's gone to automation ready, and that's where we prepare the files for production and would deliver them to your local infrastructure. Now, as I mentioned, on a couple of the files, we were manipulating or updating the artwork ready for production. The pull-up banner, we were updating the artwork and adding some white space on. So if I go into number 6, and then I go into the print folder. Now, typically the print folder would be on your infrastructure. We would pass that over to your local network via FTP or any delivery method you'd require. I'm going to open up the artwork. You can see there we've automatically added the extra white space to allow for where the material needs to go into the banner base. And the other one that we were doing some adjustments on was the teardrop flag. If you remember that artwork, that was a full square of flooded with ink. I'm going to open up that print ready file. So you'll see here. Oh, that's the original. I should have opened up the print ready. That's the original. There's the print ready. You can see here we've applied the teardrop template to the artwork, and we're outputting the cut files for your table cutting machines. Okay, now, as I mentioned, this is just an introduction to automation. Since we've completed a number of webinars already for around the globe, we've had quite a few customers uptake on our solution. We're doing things like we're actually using CYANFix to push orders into printIQ from third-party applications. And we are also doing things like automating dispatching processes within printIQ on jobs being marked as complete. We're going off and polling freight carriers, generating consignments, pushing all this information into printIQ, downloading the box labels and sending those off to label printers as well. There's lots of options with our solution. It's just not limited to pre-press. The possibilities are endless. I'll open up there, Rob, to questions.
Yep, no problem at all. Thank you, John. It's really good, really interesting, and probably just as interesting, just talking about the dispatch side or the delivery side, and maybe we could do a separate webinar on just that for people in the...
Absolutely, yeah. So that's what we want to plan, Rob. This will be our third webinar that's gone through what we're calling the introduction to our solution, and now we're going to have a series of webinars that will then take it to the next steps. But obviously, everybody has to start at the beginning with dispatching. That's more that's at the end of the production process. But we can help throughout the life cycle of the production, really.
Sure. Okay. All right. We have got some questions that are coming in.
Okay.
Do you have to use printIQ proofing? I know you touched on proofing here, John, but do you have to have the proofing module for IQ as well?
Okay. We use the printIQ proofing module, because that triggers the email from printIQ for the proof. Now, having said that, we have leveraged off of other external proofing applications like InFocus Review. Yeah.
Okay.
We can use that in conjunction with the IQ proofing module. So the communication is still managed by the IQ proofing module, but we're actually using InFocus Review to deliver the artwork. And InFocus Review is obviously very powerful. You're not just downloading a PDF, it's next level proofing.
Absolutely. Yeah, agreed. Okay. Are there any limitations with the pre-flighting?
No. So I say no, but obviously it's within reason. We can create as complex pre-flight as you require, or pretty much as many pre-flights as you require. So you can have, if you're multi-sector, so if you're digital wide format offset, then you can have different pre-flights across different devices. That's no problem at all. So part of that is all covered, as we'll hold a scoping session to go through the customer's requirements.
Fantastic. Okay. And you do that obviously all online, the scoping session, John?
Yeah, it's all done via Zoom meetings. So yeah, no problems with that. Yeah.
Fantastic. We've got a question from Chris. Obviously needs a great deal of setup. How long does the implementation, if you're up and running with IQ, if you're already an IQ customer and that's already set up and you're running, John, how long does your part take?
Okay, there's two sides to it. So there's obviously the CYANFix side that we control and manage, and there's the printIQ side. Now, to drive the automation, we require some automation operations created within printIQ that then trigger the automation steps within our solution, which anybody that already knows printIQ, that an operation is very quick to create. It's not hard. But the biggest chunk of the setup is ultimately depends on how complex the pre-flight requirements are, how complex, the production preparation of the files are, and then thirdly, how much testing the end customer wants to do. But typically, our customers so far have gone live within 4 weeks of signing with us.
Fantastic. Okay. So it's a small period of time working very closely together, realistically.
Yeah. Probably the biggest hurdle for an established printIQ customer would be if they've been established for some time, there's a good chance that they might have a large library of simplified products. Now, those would have to be updated to include the automation operations to drive CYANFix. As I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, I'm fully conversant with printIQ. I know it inside out, upside down. Yeah. Between printIQ and ourselves, we can assist in that area. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, got a question from Ed. Does this require the printIQ API module? And 2 questions. Can pre-flight reports be shared with the customer?
Okay. No, it doesn't require the API module. Yeah. It requires the production integration module.
Yep.
But having said that, yeah, if you want to take it to the next level and do things like dispatch automation and stuff like that, yeah, then it would require the API module.
Okay, for the automated freight side of things.
That's it, yeah, because that's over the capabilities of the production integration module. But once you've got the API module, then the world's your oyster. Anything that the API can do, we can trigger from our solution. And yes, we could share the pre-flight report with the end customer, and we could also brand it as whoever the customer is as well. Yeah.
Okay, and that just be sent via email.
Yes, there's a number of delivery methods. We can attach it via email. We can attach it as an attachment to the email confirmation.
Yep.
Or we can, there's a number of different ways to do it. We could even merge it into one PDF, and so lots of options.
Fantastic. Okay, and then looks like we've got one last question, which is very much the talking point at the moment around printIQ and obviously CYANFix. Does this include imposition, or where would imposition sit here, John? How would we make that work?
Okay. Yeah. So currently, CYANFix natively doesn't include imposition. Now, having said that, we are in talks with a number of different vendors about bringing imposition into the solution. But at the moment, it will just depend on the demand. But we've got a number of customers where we have integrated with their on-premise imposition application. Whilst the imposition might not be in the cloud, if you've already got an on-premise solution and we can access it and integrate with it, then that's a possibility.
Fantastic. Okay, and we can keep people updated with that as we progress moving forward, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if and when the imposition does get added to, I'm sure it will at some stage. As I mentioned, we're a young company and we've had a great uptake. But at the moment, the majority of customers either have an on-premise solution or they'll have some imposition on the front end of a press or something like that. So not everybody is after it, but it's certainly something that will be coming at some stage in the future. And as soon as it does, we'll undoubtedly do some webinars on it.
Fantastic. That'd be brilliant. I think there'd be big interest in that, John. That would be key moving forward. And then it looks like Chris has come back with another question. Chris, very keen. He's asked about costs.
Costs, right? Okay. So costs. Now we have a standard fee of it's £1,000 to set up the environment and your basic pre-flight profiles. Now, if you've got a really complex requirements on your pre-flights and you require 5 different pre-flights and a number of different production outputs, now that there's a possibility that £1,000 might not include or might not cover. There might be extra costs to cover your extra complexities. And then there's packages based on the number of files per annum. But Rob, what I'll do is I will send you out the full pricing document so that you can send to all the attendees, with the recording and your PowerPoint as well. So I've got a full document explaining the cost. But
that'd be fantastic.
I can guarantee you won't employ probably 3 or 4 pre-press people for it's very cost effective. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, yeah, so we can share the costs, and obviously the video or the recording of this will go out to everyone.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover, John and Chris? I know, John, obviously you're the key man for the speaking on this webinar. Anything else you want to get across to anyone?
No, all I'd like to say, I suppose, is if anybody would like a personalised demo where they can just chip in and ask questions, there's no problem with that at all. And if you want, if you want to just have a Q&A session, one-on-one Q&A session or a scoping session, there's no problems with that at all. Just reach out to Rob and he'll arrange it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to reach out to me and I can obviously arrange the demo or the scoping session, I think that's key, obviously, moving forward, that scoping session, to understand what you guys need as customers. Reach out to me, rob@printiq.com, and I'll get obviously everything organised. But I think that's been a great, just over 30 minutes. I think it's kept it nice into that half an hour period of people obviously staying interested in being part of we've got one more question. Hang on, John.
Okay.
Oh, it's from Chris. He's keen to obviously see the pricing. So, Chris, I'll get that to you hopefully later on today, and we'll go from there. But guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I think it's been a great 30 minutes.
Thanks for arranging, Rob. That's been great.
No problem. And we'll see everybody very soon. Thank you, guys.